Okay, so I'm going to start this series by writing a program that computes the volume of a cylinder. So first thing I'm going to do is create a block comment. Let me get over here. Let's see. And that's done with the backslash and asterisk. And then I'm going to type write a program that computes the volume of a cylinder. Okay. And to exit out of my block comment, I have to put asterisk backslash. Okay. Uh, and I want to compute the volume of a cylinder for given any variable, so any radius, any length of the cylinder. So we're going to have to allow some input from the user. So we're going to type import java.util dot asterisk semicolon. And just to let you know, I am completely new to Java. So, well, I take that back. I am 5 weeks into my first course of Java, so I'm really new. So I'm learning this along with you, and I decided to start making videos for my own reference. So in the future, that I don't learn any of the basics. Okay, so next, what we're going to do is declare the main method. But first, we're going to type public class, and I'm going to name this cylinder. Open brace. Let's see, public static void main parentheses string brackets args, just like that. And basically, that's going to be your starting template for most programs. And I apologize if I don't um, describe exactly what all this means so far. To be honest, I really couldn't tell you everything about public static void, but I'll tell you that this is your starting point. Okay, so next thing we want to do is create the scanner input. So you'll start by just typing scanner, and then you can name it. I'm going to name mine in. It doesn't have to be in, it could be like SCNR for scanner, or it could be input. We'll just name it in equals new scanner system in semicolon. And hang on one sec, let's see. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is output this text to the user. System out print line, and to outprint or output a string, you have to do a double quotation mark. And it's going to say, what is the radius and length of the cylinder? Because in order to compute the volume of the cylinder, you have to know the radius and the length. And line, what that's going to do is bring it down a line. So if I didn't put ln, then the next line that I would type would appear right at the end of this question mark. It would all be on the same line. So ln just drops it down to the next line. And I entered on line 10 system out print line again with nothing in it so that I can drop it down again one more line. So now I'll have a blank line right underneath this text that says what is the radius and length of the cylinder. And then I'm going to type system.out.print, and for this one I'm not going to put ln. I'm going to type radius space like that. And just to see how that works, or actually let me first do this. Double radius. So we're saying that radius is a type double value equals in.next double semicolon. Okay, so what this did was declare a variable radius with this variable is type double, and in.next double means that this is going to be user input from the keyboard. Like I could have put 5 or 10 or any other value right here, numerical value right here, and then that radius would equal that value. But since I put in.next double, it means that it's awaiting for the user to input what the value is. And since I didn't put ln next to radius right here on this line, it's going to have the user input that value right at the end of where this colon is. So to see how that works, let me compile this program first. Cylinder right here, save. Okay. So now it's going to execute the program. Oh, sorry. Let me parse this. Got to close these braces. There we go. This one coordinates with line 6, and this last brace coordinates with line 5. Okay. So let's run it again. And it should start off by asking me, what is the radius and length of the cylinder? What is the radius and length of the cylinder? And then you see radius, and see how my cursor is right next to radius, not underneath it. And so and it's also waiting for me to input, so I can put 10. And that's it. That's the end of the program because that's all I wrote. Okay, back up here. Right after I do that, I want to drop it down a line underneath. So I'll do that again. And we're going to do something similar for length. Okay. Let me declare the variable length. Same thing, in.next double semicolon, just like that. And I'll drop it down one more line. There are other ways of doing that, dropping it down a line. You don't have to have all of this right here, kind of clogging up the screen, I guess. You could do something like a \n, or there are other ways, but for now we'll keep it simple and we'll just type system out print line just to drop it down a line. Okay, now that we have the radius and length, I need to write something that is going to create the formula for computing the volume of the cylinder. And the first thing you need is the area, because the volume of the cylinder is equal to area of the circle times the length of the cylinder. So first, let's create something that computes the area. So another double value, area. And how do we get the area? Well, that is just the radius squared times pi. Okay, and pi is 3.14, but in Java we have a method for pi. So what we're going to type is radius times radius, so we can get radius squared times, and for pi we type math dot pi, just like that, and that'll give us the area. Now there is another method for squaring a value that is under the class math, but I'll create another video later that shows us how to do that. Alright, so that's our area, and let's also get the volume now. So double volume, and this is area times length. So I'll just do area times length, semicolon. So now volume is initialized with the value of area times length. And it's important to make sure you're doing this in the correct order. For instance, if I declared volume first before I declared area, we would have a runtime error, because when we declare volume and initialize it with area times length, line 17 would see that area, that variable doesn't exist because the program hasn't reached that line yet. So we declare area first because we already know what radius is, and then we declare volume because now we know what area is. Okay, so line 19. Let's see. Okay, so let's just output what our answer is. System.out.print volume of a cylinder with radius, and then I'm going to put space, quotation mark, and in order for this line of text to say what that radius was that we input, I'm going to put plus radius, so that'll append that value after the text, plus, and then another string, space, and length, space, quotation mark, plus, so that I append something after the word length. I'm going to append the value of length, plus, and one more word, is, and then space, plus, and then finally volume. Alright, so let's go ahead and run this and see what it does. Alright, so what is the radius and length of the cylinder? Let's go ahead and type 5 for the radius and 10 for the length. And we get volume of the cylinder with radius 5 and length 10 is 785.39 ... And there you go. That's the very basic of Java.